Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you have not been here before, my name is Lise and I'm a new mommy. My baby is about to be 7 weeks old on Saturday, so in like 2, 3 or 4 days, I don't even know, but my baby's about to be 7 weeks, and I wanted to come on here and just share, give y'all the whole entire full tea of all the stuff that you absolutely will need, most likely. I mean, everybody's situation is different, granted, but 95.72% of y'all are gonna need every item on this list. Being a new mommy, it makes your life so much easier. It helps your baby, it helps you, just everything. Okay, so let's just get into it. I'm done talking. So I'm not going in any specific order. It's just everything is really important, and if it's not, I'm gonna state why it's not. So first item on the list is the Graco Duos Glider Gliding Swing. That was a lot to say. So this thing, oh my gosh y'all, so it's like a bassinet. It is a flat surface, but it does have like some cushion around it. It's not hard, it's a cushioned surface, but it's flat, and you know babies are supposed to sleep on their backs in a flat bassinet when they're a newborn. So this thing right here is the best thing in the entire world, because it's not just like any other bassinet. For one, it moves. Now, well, let me tell you the price. So the price is $179.99, and it's from Target. I feel like that is 100% worth it because of all that it does and all that I have gone through as a new mom, and I'm gonna explain why. But put this on your registry. If you haven't already had a baby and you still are creating your registry, or you already have a registry and you haven't had a baby yet, put this on your registry, because I hope someone will buy it for you. But basically, so the reason this thing is so good is because not only does it have a flat surface, it also has the recline setting. I don't know what to call it, but it reclines, or you can sit it up. So it has 3 different like settings. So it can be kind of like a chair, which is kind of like at this angle, and then it has one that's more like laying down but still up, and then it has like more completely flat for if your baby's just regular and not like mine. So the reason I like the settings like that is because my baby has reflux, and if your baby has reflux, you know that the baby has to be at a more up position to allow the food to just digest and go down and to stay down, because if your baby has reflux and you lay them flat, it's coming up no matter what surface, and it's coming up if you lay them flat. So that was the #1 reason why I like this thing. But not only does it have the recline settings, it rocks, and it has 6 different speeds, which is great because my daughter likes to swing very fast. And it will also, it's also good if your my baby was small, but at the weight she is now, she's about 8.5 pounds. She likes it on the fast setting, and it goes like a good rate for her. Like usually 4 or 5 is usually like where she likes it, and at her weight it swings at a very good rate to where it's not too fast where she's like, you know, she looks dizzy or anything, but it's also not too slow to where it's like she's bored and she just wants to get out of it. So I really like that. And then it also has the mobile on the top of it. The mobile I didn't really care for at first. It kind of just seemed like it was in the way. I couldn't figure out like if I could like adjust it to like just adjust like the angle that it's at. But I recently found out that you kind of can adjust it, not by much, but you can adjust it so that your baby can see it. And when she swings at that fast 4 or 5 speed, it swings with her, so it catches her eye, and she really likes things that swing. So everything about this thing is a plus. And it's, oh, and it also makes noises. It has music, and it has like white noises. My daughter prefers the white noises over the music, and so do I, because I don't want to hear something saying rockabye baby all night long. But the white noise is just, she really likes it. So for $179 or $180, 100% worth it. Like, I feel like even if your baby doesn't have reflux, it still needs it, because it can sit up, it can look at you while you're doing stuff, and it could just be rocking, and it could just look at you rather than it just being laying down and it can't see you. Like, the thing is perfect, and I feel like she's still young, but I feel like it will carry for many months. So perfect, and she sleeps like a charm in it. Perfect. I love it. 100%. 10 out of 10. Okay, next item. The next thing is the Hatch Rest Sound Machine, Nightlight and Time to Rise. So this thing, also from Target, is $60. The reason I like this is because, well, I used to be the type where I could not sleep with any light on, but I'm gonna give y'all some tea. When you have a newborn, you're not really gonna sleep much anyways. But at the hospital, they made us sleep with the light on. We stayed in the hospital for 3 nights, and they made us keep this certain light on so that we can always see the baby and make sure that the baby's okay, and so that when they come in, they don't have to turn on every light and check the baby and check you and everything like that. So I got very accustomed to being able to see her, because I'm such a light sleeper that every little noise that she makes, I have to open my eyes and look at her. So with this nightlight, it makes it very easy for me to just open my eyes and see her rather than getting up, turning on the light. And that was the thing, I didn't buy this at first. I had to buy this because I was like, I don't like light, so I'm not gonna have it. And plus the light switch in my room dims, so I'm like, oh, I can just leave it on the dim setting. But the dim setting is still very bright compared to this nightlight, which has multiple light settings. It dims and it brightens. It has noises, also has the white noise, and it has like, I think it has some songs, but it has different colors, like everything about it. And another thing, like my daughter likes looking at stuff that spins, so the mobile she likes, she also loves staring at light. I don't know why, but she does. So at night, when it just kind of keeps her distracted. If she's like up and she's not really falling asleep yet, but I'm sleepy, I'll put the nightlight on and she can just stare at that and rock until she falls asleep, because it keeps her distracted. So again, a must-have, because if your baby's gonna like light, you don't know it. I mean, it's a plus. Like, it does multiple things rather than just being a nightlight. And it also says it's a time to rise, so if you have an older child, it'll wake them up when it's a certain, I think there's certain settings that you can put to it that will allow it to turn on at a certain time, so it'll wake your baby up. But I don't use that yet because, like I said, my baby's only 7 weeks old. So yes, 10 out of 10. Love that thing. And it says on here that you can customize it from your phone. I've personally never tried, because it's just so easy to, you just hit the top of it and it comes on. It comes on the last setting that you had it, so whether you just had the light on or whether you had the light and the white noise on, it just comes on if you just bop it on the top. And you can change the colors just by bopping it on the top, like literally just boop, hit it like that and you're good to go. So love it, completely recommend. If you don't have it, put it on your registry or get it. Okay, next item is the baby nail clippers 20-in-1 by Royal Angels Baby. I don't know, it has a long name, whatever. It's an electric nail file for babies. Now I know with my little brother, he's 6 years old, and we used to have to try to clip his fingernails. Babies and them clippers, you're gonna either not do a good job and just mess up, or you can accidentally cut them. Like, you have the fear of doing that, so it makes you not even want to do that good of a job. It's stressful. But with this electric nail file, it makes life a lot easier. For one, it has a light attached to it, which helps me when it's like she's sleeping and I don't want to like turn on the lights. Like, the lights don't really bother her if I turn them on, but even if I don't want to get out of bed and I just want to clip her nails because she's sleeping, I'm about to go to sleep, it has a little light on it so you can kind of see what you're doing. And it's electric. You just kind of file it down. It works extremely fast. It has multiple different heads, so that way you can pick the hardness or whatever that you want. It has a buffer, it has different hardness files or different grains, I don't know what to call it, but and it has one other thing in there that, like, I don't really know how to use it, so I haven't used it, but you know, it's just a nail kit and it does an amazing job. It's super fast. If she's asleep, I can do both of her hands in probably less than 5 minutes. It's the best thing ever. So, and my baby's nails grows like weeds. Like, when I tell you I'll clip her nails one day and they'll be back long the next day, I'm not lying. So it just makes it a lot easier to be able to do it more often, and you're not hurting her. I use a lower grain nail file, so that way if I do like rub it on her finger a little bit, she's not gonna get hurt. I also tested on myself to make sure that it's not gonna like rub her, but of course I'm not gonna leave it there for a really long time. But this is $21.99, so $22, a must-have. I got it from my registry. Okay, this thing too, I don't know if I got this on my registry or not, but I don't remember it being this much. I think the price had went up because the exact one that I have is no longer in stock, so maybe that's why. But this is the same exact thing, but just in a different color. It says it is, well, first, it's a baby nasal aspirator, and it's $37.99. It has 3 different settings on it. It plays music and it has a light, like a light show kind of, to distract your baby. Now, no baby I've ever come across likes getting their nose sucked. I have used not the Frida baby one, if you know what I'm talking about, that you put in your mouth and you put it in the nose. It wasn't that brand, but it was basically the same kind of a contraption. It was just a different brand. And for one, you have to physically suck, so like you have to catch your breath. If they have like a lot of boogers, my baby luckily hasn't had a lot of boogers, but with my little brother, he was sick quite a bit, so he had like a lot of boogers, and it's hard to just constantly suck. But whereas, and also a lot of people don't like the fact that you're putting something in your mouth and you're sucking boogers out. Not that it's not going to go in your mouth. There's no one that goes in your mouth, but, or that will allow the boogers to go into your mouth. But some people just don't like the idea of that. And I just thought it would be a lot easier, and it's better if a machine does it, to just kind of suck it for you. It's stronger to an extent, and it can go longer than you actually just, you know, like eventually you have to stop. So this thing, oh, I already said the price, but yes, so I have one of these things, and since my daughter has reflux, a lot of the times it will come out of her nose. So having liquid and fluid in this area, your nasal passages, isn't fun. So it's a lot easier to just grab that, press the on button real fast, turn the speed up to, honestly, I like it on the highest speed. The lowest speeds don't bother her, but they also don't do as good of a job as far as like getting in there deep. But if I put it on the 3rd speed, which is the highest, it gets in there and gets all that fluid out of her nasal passages, and it helps her to feel better. She doesn't like it sometimes because it will take away her breath, but the other ones do that too. The one that you manually have to do, I've experienced that as well, that it takes away their breath just because they're trying to breathe in and you're sucking out. It's going against each other, so that's just something you can't avoid. But this thing, it makes my life a lot easier, and I recommend it. It's worth the money. I'm not 100% sure how to go about cleaning it, which has become a problem because, you know, once you suck so much out, it's dirty. There's like little heads on it that you can pop off, and there's different sizes and everything, so that's easy to clean. And I just take a little what's it called, like just a little brush, like it's very skinny, it's for nipples, but I just use it to clean that because it gets in there very good because it's so small. But the actual like clear piece that's on it, I don't know how to go about taking it off, so I do have to do my research and figure out how to clean it properly, but I'm sure there's a way. I just haven't figured it out. But anyways, okay, next item. Oh my gosh, okay, the baby is Katan or Katan, I don't know how to say it. Baby Katan original baby wrap carrier. Now I have the baby Katan. It's very similar to the Coney, but there's a $10 difference. The one I chose was $10 cheaper, and because I had an Amazon gift card, I was trying to get the most with my money, so I'm like, it's basically the same thing, I'm just gonna get the cheaper one. And a part of me honestly regrets getting the cheaper one because of how the back of the structure is. Now I still love mine 100%, but if I could go back in time and buy the one that was $10 more, I probably would, just because of how it's structured. It just seems like it's even more comfortable than it is. Now, a lot of guys don't really like the wrap carrier. I mean, maybe there's some out there that do, but I know most of the dads that I know, they prefer just, you know, the clip in and you just put the baby in and clip them in. They prefer that. That's fine. But for moms, you're going to be doing a lot, especially if you're a single mom. If you're a single mom, 900,000% you need this. Editing the video, and I completely just realized I forgot to mention that the baby Katan carrier is much like a wrap carrier without having to wrap it. So that's a huge thing as to why I wanted that. I love convenience and I love ease. So the baby Katan, you just throw it on kind of like a backpack or whatever, and you just stick the baby in. You don't have to throw it around you and wrap it and pull it and tug it and do all that. You don't have to do all that. So it's a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot more convenient. I literally just wear it on me all day, and whenever she needs to be in it or whatever, I need to like take her somewhere real fast, like go for a walk or anything, I just shove her in and we go. So it's so much easier than having to figure out how to actually wrap the actual baby wraps, but it's still comfortable like the baby wraps. So okay, back to the video. because it keeps your hands free. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Sometimes your baby just wants to be held. Mine hates it honestly, but loves it at the same time because she doesn't like being squished, and it's a tight fit and it keeps her snug to me. So if she's like fussy, she'll have kind of a fit because she doesn't like being squished, so she'll push against me. But once I just kind of calm her down and walk around with her a little bit, she calms down and she'll lay on my chest and she'll go to sleep, and I can do what I need to do and get done what I need to get done. But oh, I didn't say how much it was. It's $50, $49.95. So it's $50 and the other one is $60. But the way the back on the one I have is, the Catan, it can be slightly uncomfortable if your baby's not positioned correctly, but it's still 1000% more comfortable than the kind that most guys wear, and like, you know, the little just strap-on kind. That's more like a backpack, that kind. So it's still very comfortable, but I probably will, once she grows out of this size, I probably will get the other brand in a different size, because the way the back is, it's like just flat on your back, and there's not just like a little hard, not hard, but like a ball of fabric on your back. So that's what really the only problem is. I still recommend it if you're on a budget. For sure, still get it. I'm not saying spend the extra $10. I mean, it is just $10, but it's really up to you and your preference. It's still extremely comfortable. If you look at this picture right here, you'll see how it kind of makes an X on her back, and right there where the X crosses is where it can get uncomfortable, but it's not that bad. So 100% recommend. It's a must-have, whether you're like, just, it doesn't matter, you need it. Okay, so next is the Baby Boppy original, or why do I call it a Baby Boppy? A Boppy original newborn lounger. Now they have the original Boppy and they have this type of a Boppy. I actually have both, and I have put both on my registry, and luckily we were fortunate enough to be gifted both. I really love the newborn lounger because she's a newborn, and I know it's not going to last for very long, so I don't think that you have to buy the newborn lounger, but I really do love it. So if you can put it on your registry and someone gifts it to you, perfect. But do I see her being 3 months and sitting in it? No, because once she can start sitting up and doing all that, I probably will stop using it and just go to the original Boppy, because I believe that one you're supposed to start using it at about 3 months. But until those 3 months, I use my Boppy lounger every day, multiple times a day, whether she's just sitting next to me and we're just chilling in the bed, and you know, she just wants to be able to see me and not be in her bassinet. That's fine, because I truthfully do like to put her in the bassinet only if she's like going to sleep, so that she knows and can start learning like, oh, I'm in here, I need to go to sleep type thing. So this just gives them another option, just like a little chair. My boyfriend calls it a baby couch. Like, you just chilling, like it's super comfortable looking, at least. I can't feel it because I'm not the baby, but it looks super comfortable. Did I say how much it was? It's $32.99. They have a little bit of a more expensive option, but the color and the one I got is $32.99. It's the greatest. When someone, if I go to my mom's house, if I visit my grandma, I always have one at their, like they have one at their house, so that way she just sits in it, she can just chill anywhere with it. I know that they have like the DockATot top and all these expensive options, but I really don't think that you need a DockATot top, because again, they're not going to be in a DockATot top or a Boppy lounger for a whole entire year. So spending $100 on one just didn't seem right to me, and it didn't seem necessary. And truthfully, I live my life amazingly without one, so I just say get you a $30 Boppy lounger and a regular Boppy, and that's still less than buying a DockATot. And now you have it to last for one, a longer period of time. It can do more than the DockATot, and it, you know, it's a cheaper option. So 100% recommend. Okay, this is the #1 thing I probably use, other than the bassinet. I use this thing multiple times a day. It makes my life a lot easier, completely easier. I couldn't imagine boiling bottles. So with that being said, it's the one-step sterilizer and dryer Baby Brezza, and it is $109.99, so $110. This thing is the best invention in the world. I don't know if there's another sterilizer and dryer combination that can like equal with the Baby Brezza, because all the things I've ever seen was always about the Baby Brezza. But I do know that there is, we were gifted this, and we were gifted a sterilizer and dryer, but no, it doesn't dry. It's a bottle warmer and a sterilizer. So we have one that does that, and we have one that does the just sterilizing and drying, which is what we have at my house, and the other one is at my boyfriend's house. But it makes it, for one, it's in comparison, it sterilizes and it dries the bottles. Drying the bottles really be the hard part. Like, even if you leave a bottle out on the counter, on a towel, or on a dish mat, it doesn't dry like this dryer, and it makes life a lot easier when a bottle is just sterilized and dried. It makes life so much easier. Hear me when I say it. So I just love this thing. It only just makes sense to me. I mean, it is good to have a bottle warmer and a bottle sterilizer, but since that one is so small, it doesn't really just equate. This thing fits so many bottles. It fits all the like parts and pieces, especially if you use the Dr. Brown's bottles. They come with 1,000,000 pieces, and they all need to be sterilized and cleaned and ready for your baby to use. And luckily, the lowest setting that you can put it on is 30 minutes, which I always just put it on the 30-minute setting to sterilize and dry. I would say the only bad thing about it is that the fill line for the sterilizer is very low, and it doesn't really make sense. But if that's how the machine works, that's how the machine works. I might be using it wrong, I don't know, but it works on the 30 minutes, and that's good enough for me because it sterilizes them and dries them. I think it's in an hour. I don't think it's 30 minutes necessarily, or is it 30 minutes? I don't know, whatever. But I love it. It's 100% worth the money. It makes your life a lot easier, and I'm gonna be using it for a very long time. As long as she's using bottles, I'm gonna be using it, so it's completely worth the money. Next up is the, oh, what are they called? Wait. Okay, they're called the Swaddle Me Pods, newborn size. Now, if you have a big baby, unfortunately, this item is not for you. My baby was 5 pounds 14 ounces when she was born, so she was very small and very tiny and very skinny. I wish I would have known about these before she was even born, because, well, actually I did know about them, but I didn't receive them from my registry, and I didn't think about buying them because I had bought and received so many other different types of swaddles. So I'm like, oh, these are good. But since my baby was so skinny, she couldn't fit those swaddles. I mean, she could fit, like, you know, a regular swaddle where you manually wrap it, but as far as, like, you know, the easy ones where you just kind of tuck them in, put their arms in, strap them in like that, she couldn't fit those because she was so tiny. So it felt like she was like, I had to wrap it so tight that it was like, you know, too high on her neck, and it kind of just made me uneasy. So these the best things in the world, especially when you're someone like me. I need a lot of sleep, but I'm such a light sleeper that everything wakes me up. So it's like you don't want to be up in the middle of the night and fussing with wrapping a baby back up. But they have started reflux, and they're not going to sleep correctly unless they're swaddled. So that's why these things make life so much easier, because you just lay it out, unzip it, stick the baby in, zip it back up. You don't have to take it off to change the diaper. That's why it's better than any other swaddle I've come across so far, because all the other ones you have to unwrap them and take them out to change their diaper. This one, it has zippers both ways, so you just zip it up a little bit, pull her legs out, change her diaper, stick her legs back in, and that way her arms are just in there the entire time. So she's more likely to stay asleep and more likely to get better rest, and that way you get better rest. So again, 1000% recommend. How much are these? They're $24.99, so 25 bucks. Why does everything have to end in 99? I don't get it. But they're $24 or $25, and they have colors for boys and girls or whatever. I bought the blue ones just because I don't like pink, but all the girl ones had pink in it, so I was just like, I'm gonna get the blue because blue is prettier anyways. And they're not gender specific looking. They can go both ways, so I love them. 100% recommend. Okay, another thing that has become a lifesaver after she was born is, well, actually, okay, I'll talk about these two kind of simultaneously. So first, I'm gonna say what I absolutely love, which is the Munchkin Precision digital bottle warmer, which is $40. It's $39.99 at Target. And this one, don't get it confused with the Munchkin Fast Bottle Warmer, because the Munchkin Fast Bottle Warmer, I believe it warms bottles faster, but you have to refill the water tank thingy, I believe, every time you use it. I could be mistaken because I don't have that one, but to my knowledge, that's how you use it. You have to refill the little tiny water tank at least multiple times, if not every time. And as far as the Munchkin Precision Digital Bottle Warmer, which is a little bit more expensive, you don't have to refill the water every single time. You probably refill it about every 4 to 6 bottles and you get good. Now, the reason I didn't want a bottle warmer at first was because, well, I did want a bottle warmer, which I'm gonna speak on, but I didn't want one that required water, because I'm like, I'm not getting up. I'm trying to tell y'all, 3 in the morning, you're not gonna want to get up and refill water and then put it into the thing. It just makes the process even longer than what it has to be. And I just want, you know, pop the bottle in, press the button, press the start, and go lay back down until it's ready or whatever. That's how I like. So this one makes life a lot easier. Now, I did at first was using, yeah, I said how much it was. So I really love the Munchkin Precision Digital Bottle Warmer. Make sure that's clear. Everything I talked about will be linked down below in the description. Every single exact thing I talked about. But now, at first, before we had got this, because I got this like when she was probably at least like 3 weeks, 4 weeks old, I don't know. But at first we were using the Baby Brezza bottle warmer. Or why did I call it a Baby Brezza? It's called a Baby Brew. Excuse me. Baby's Brew bottle warmer, and it's portable, and it's $75. Now, I was using this at first, and I had just switched to, we had Advent bottles and we had Dr. Brown's bottles, so I just was kind of using more of the Advent bottles because it's compatible with that specific warmer. You don't have to buy any extra attachments or anything like that, but the Dr. Brown's bottles, you do have to buy attachments, and then the milk spills, and I did buy an attachment, but it just makes it a lot more complicated, so I just got all Advent bottles, and we were just using those specifically. But then the bottle warmer started to glitch, and I think it's a very new thing. Like, a lot of people, I don't even think, know about the Baby Brews bottles warmers, so I think they still have to work out the glitches, because I did contact them, but I forgot about the email and didn't even finish trying to fix the problem. I did really like it. It makes it very convenient. You can easily just grab the bottle out the fridge, attach it to the warmer, and take the warmer back with you into your room or whatever, and you can lay there until it's done. But mine stopped working when it just wouldn't warm the milk correctly. It just stopped working. Like, it would say it's done and the milk would still be cold. You can still feel the actual milk, not just the bottle. The actual milk will feel cold. So I'm just like, I'm not going to use this anymore. So luckily, the Munchkin bottle warmer came in clutch and saved the day, because it just makes it so easy. You refill it before you go to sleep or whatever, before you get tired, and you're good to go through the night. And that way all the night feedings are good, and even the morning when you're still a little drowsy, you're good. So the Baby Brew is $75, which, if it worked 100% correctly, I probably would have never bought the Munchkin warmer, but it stopped working, so I, you know, had to find another option. But yeah, I still like both options. It's just the Munchkin is more reliable, so I recommend that one more. But if you are on the go, I do still recommend to buy it. I just hope they fix their glitches. I don't know, maybe by the time you're purchasing it, maybe yours isn't defective, or maybe mine was just defective and everybody else's isn't, because I've never really seen complaints about them. But it's just, I don't know, I think I just got, you know, the end of the stick. Now, I wasn't gonna get too into the bottle warmer situations, because I'm like, I need me the baby Keurig. Everybody knows what that is, the baby freaking Keurig. It's not actually a Keurig, but it's a Baby Brezza Pro advanced formula mixer. I bought it as soon as I could. I bought it with gift cards, so technically I was gifted it, but I'm like, I need this thing. It makes life so much easier. And again, I'm someone who needs a lot of sleep, so the faster we can make this process go, the better. Now, I'm not the type to read the instructions, and I saw the instructions on how to put it together. I did read that much, but I'm not the one that's like, oh, like, let me see if I don't know. Basically, I was kind of using it wrong when I first bought it, and I'm like, I hate this thing. Why is it sometimes warm and sometimes cold? But that's because I would turn it off. If you turn it off, it will, you know, not warm the water. But if you leave it on and just don't ever press the on and off button, it will constantly warm the water, which is really good. And I was like, I heard bad things about it, and they were saying like, oh, it doesn't properly mix your formula and your baby can get water poisoning or whatever it's called, you know, because babies aren't supposed to have water. Well, newborns aren't supposed to have water. So that made me a little iffy, but it was the rate of bad reviews to good reviews. So like 90+% of people was saying that they loved it, so I ended up buying it. At first I was using it wrong, so I was like confused, but it was still mixing the formula good. But when we had switched my daughter's formula because she had stomach problems, we had to switch to a different formula, and once we switched to that formula, it stopped working good. It would not mix that formula. Like, I had it on the correct settings and everything. It tells you to go to their website and type something in that tells you exactly what setting to put it on for that specific formula, and I did that, and it still did not mix the formula correctly. And I felt like it was kind of giving my baby water poisoning or something. Like, she was crying. Like, I don't know if she really had it. I don't think it ever got that bad, but I didn't let it get that bad. If I would have continued to use it and not realize, you know, like, it could have gotten a lot worse. So I stopped using mine because I'm just like, she seems like she's crying too much. She seems like her stomach is just killing her. Like, if this isn't mixing the formula correctly, I'm just not going to give it to her. But also, then I started doing it by hand, and I'm like, okay, just put the water and put the formula in it and just mix it by hand. And I still felt like the watery formula, like the powder with the water mixture, just wasn't sitting well with her. Whereas the ready to feed mixtures worked perfectly. They are a lot more expensive, but if my baby's in pain, I'm gonna pay it. You know, I don't care about the cost. Like, you want your baby to be okay. So I ended up not using mine. I still have mine. I don't know what to do with it. I kind of decided, like, you know, at 6 months they say you can start to give your baby like a little bit of water. So I figure maybe at 6 months I'll try it again. Maybe it will go better for her stomach, and we can, you know, cut the cost back down a little bit because it gets expensive. But yeah, so I'm just kind of waiting to see. I don't hate it, but I'm not 100% in love with it. I don't any longer think that it was like, you know, trying to poison my baby. I don't believe that. I just think it was just her stomach being used to the ready to feeds her whole life, and then just switching to powder formula just kind of didn't sit right with her. So that was just my experience with that. But again, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it yet. So another thing that I don't hate and don't love that many people, I'm sure, want to know about and probably click this video to talk about is the Owlet Smart Sock 3 baby monitor with oxygen and heart rate. So I had got the Dusty Rose, I think it's called, or something. I got the pinkish looking one because it was gonna be the closest to skin tone, so I like the look of that better, and it goes better, you know, if they're wearing outfits or something. Like, it goes better with their outfit. Now, before I bought it, I didn't think that it had to be charged, but it has to be charged. So she doesn't even wear it in the daytime. I usually just charge it in the daytime, and then at night I was using it. So I love this thing and I hate this thing. Let me get into why. Okay, so I love it because it lets you know if something's wrong with your baby. I mean, that's just a fact. It will tell you if their heart rate rises too high or if their oxygen levels drop too low. And those are two very important things because it'll immediately notify you if something's wrong with your baby. You need to check on her, like if she's suffocating or something, or if, you know, just something is wrong. So the thing makes, I think, 3 different noises. Now, until you hear the noise that's a problem, you think all the noises are a problem. It makes you have like a mini heart attack, and it kind of drives you insane, when really the only problem is that the sock wasn't correctly on her foot or something. Now, you don't know the noise until you hear that something's wrong. I've only heard the noise one time with my baby, and it said that her heart rate had rose very high, out of the normal range, so to check on your baby. Luckily I was holding her at the time that it went off, and it drove me insane. It gave me a heart attack. It sounded like a doggone fire alarm dang near. Like, it's a very alerting noise. It lets you know that something's wrong. But it wasn't until I heard that noise that I didn't know what to expect. All the other noises before, I just thought, like, you know, it's a baby thing, like, oh my god, is my baby dying? Like when it made the noise that just said, like, oh, the sock isn't properly on your baby's foot, like, fix it. So it makes that noise. It makes a noise when it's an actual problem, and it's one other noise, and I can't put my finger on what. Oh, it's a noise when the sock isn't connected to the base. So it comes with this base that needs to be plugged in and connected to Wi-Fi. If the base and the sock aren't, you know, connected, like, I used it, I didn't know that it had to be on Wi-Fi, so I had took it out of town with me, and I wasn't on their Wi-Fi. We were staying at an Airbnb, and we were on the Wi-Fi with the sock, so it made that noise. And again, I panicked. I didn't know what the actual panic noise was, so any noise it made just drove me insane. So if you're someone who's just very, like, anxious, and hearing those noises are gonna drive you insane, I don't recommend you to get it, because you're gonna hear those other noises quite often. Even though I've now heard the alert noise, the other noises still kind of like spark something in me that's like, oh my god, what the heck is wrong with my daughter? So if you're like me and like that, don't get it. But if you're a heavy sleeper, I might recommend you to get it, because with me, if my daughter moves slightly, if she breathes differently, if she holds her breath for just a little bit too long, I literally hear everything. I hear it and I see it, and it wakes me up. I can be in the deepest sleep and she can make the slightest noise and I wake up, which is a good and a bad thing. It's good for her health, and I know that she's okay. It's horrible for my sleep and me functioning through the day. It's bad. But if you're a deep sleeper and you can't sleep with your baby in the bed with you, which of course you're not supposed to do anyways, I would recommend to get it, because if you need something that's gonna alert you to let you know if your baby's 100% okay, I do recommend it, because it does its job. It has not failed me once, and the only time her heart rate did rise above where it was supposed to be, it let me know. And it was, I wouldn't say it was slightly delayed, but it wasn't, it was like her heart rate rose, it picked it up on the monitor, her heart rate dropped, and then not, well, you know, came back to normal range, and the thing went off. It was a very fast process. Like, luckily I was holding her the entire time it happened, so I got to see exactly what went on and how it responded with the monitor. But again, it's one of those things that's just up in the air, so it's kind of your own personal decision. Do I regret buying it? Not at all. Do I use it that much anymore? Not really. I used it a lot when she was like younger, and it just, I used it a lot when she was younger, but I'm such a light sleeper that I don't really feel the need to use it anymore, because for one, I can see her with the nightlight, and for two, I wake up and I just look at her and either she's okay or she's not. So it's up to you. Okay, so I know I've talked a lot this entire time, but I had a lot to say, and I'm sure you new moms out there, or moms to be, could appreciate how much detail I went into, just because I know there's questions, and if you don't have someone to ask all the time, it worries you. Like, I didn't have nobody to ask, so I had to do my own research, and I had to do my own trial and error. So I just want to make it easier for other moms out there to not have to go through the trial and error phase, and just have the advice and the experienced mom just tell you, hey, this is what worked for us, and we hope it works for y'all. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other video ideas that you would want to see, like the things that I might have needed or anything like that, just write a comment down below and I will 100% do a video on it. You feel free to DM me on Instagram at lifeasleast. The link is in the description down below. Follow me on Instagram and follow my daughter at Nightlight. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.